hello everybody. Let me first share my PPT with you. Okay. Can you see the PPT?
Yes, we can see it clearly.
Okay, thank you. Well, first of all, I must thank again Anna and also Haldor for the nice invitation as usual. And I'm very, very glad that EURAXESS is keeping so much active for these initiatives. And actually, this is going to be my first recommendation for potential applicants. Please, everybody, follow EURAXESS because, you know, since I arrived to China in 2011, so it really helped me a lot to learn not only about how to apply for an ERC grant, but basically how to efficiently develop my academic network. And actually, that is one of the main issues when you're preparing your proposal. I will come to this detail later. Okay, so very quickly, because I think I only have 10 minutes for my presentation, I actually based my presentation in three big issues. So if time allows, I will try to cover everything, but if not, I will randomly cover the main important aspect. Actually, the first one I would like to comment is about precisely what Professor Uwe Sauer, excuse me by my pronunciation of your name, is precisely how to think, because this is very key important, how to think out of the box to prepare your proposal, to make your proposal and project significant. Later, I will give you also, according to my experience, some description about the project, potential results, and of course, it is important, as I mentioned, how you prepare your academic network. Let me go first to how to prepare your proposal, because this is the most important issue for the applicants. Again, allow me to highlight these issues. Open access, scientific values based on interdisciplinary work, and again, thinking out of the box and put on highlight innovative ideas and concepts, which again, you should somehow get out of your comfort zone in the work you have previously done to prepare or to develop new research beyond incremental research. And actually, I say incremental because this is one of the key words used by evaluators of your work. Allow me to go quickly. Thanks you. Again, important thing here, I put briefly the first presentation I made of my ERC grant in the Xujiahui campus of Shanghai Autonomous University with the help of the EU delegation and EURAXESS China. This is also the first presentation I made in Beijing when the ERC current president, Professor Jean-Pierre Boucugnon, came to apply to give a talk about the cooperation between the ERC and scientific institutions, bodies of China. And again, the key concept, get out of the incremental research, forget about linear model of innovation, and be focused on interdisciplinary research, connecting with other fields out of other areas out of your field. And basically the main issue that is quite interesting and very important for panelists and actually for the ERC and the EU Commission, that's why they are funding with huge money these projects, is how your knowledge, how your project is gonna be, could be transferred not only to scientific communities, but to society in general. And for this particular aspect, the open access is very important. And the output and also outreach activities that you also make a plan for your work. Okay, so how to apply for an ERC grant? My grant, actually Anna explained you in detail this slide about the different programs. My program is the Starting grant, which is actually for promising early career researchers from 2 to 7 years experience after the PhD. You should go in detail to the ERC website, which should be your Bible. And the most important thing for this is the experience from the ERC grantee, it's me, preparing your project in advance, read it to submission, and also be aware about the 2 steps. Step 1, which is actually, it is the first one, the reviewers will not read your complete 10, 15 pages of your project description. They will read you first, read your title of your project. That should be very appealing. The acronym, which is something, could you think, guys, that should be something a very minor detail, but it makes a sense because it is the first thing that evaluators will read, and you should make it attractive, the acronym. And they will read the abstract and the 5 short pages, which is a short description of the project. So you should make it very appealing, because non-expert in your fields will read first this proposal, and then later, if you pass the first threshold, you will be invited for an interview in Brussels. Again, the website should be your main Bible for the guidelines to prepare your project. Objectives, you might demonstrate that you are an independent researcher, which means that you are not doing research for somebody else, for a senior scholar behind the scenes. So you need to be the principal investigator and demonstrate groundbreaking nature, ambition, and feasibility of your proposal, which is actually what Professor Yu Sauer mentioned, in which no matter what fancy method you are using, but you need to demonstrate why and how you are using this method. Again, this is also the description for a ERC grantee investigator. Again, this also is something important, not decisive, but important, the early achievement track records. Again, the evaluators will see your potential. This doesn't, it doesn't necessarily mean that before you apply, you need to have published a lot of books, monographs, but you need to see, actually the evaluators will see the track record that you have already achieved, and that there is a progressive, let's say, development in the accomplishment of your early career, which means that don't necessarily need that you have to publish 5 SSC articles after your PhD, but mainly, precisely, maybe 1 or 2, but could be high quality in a very key journal. These little things will be highly appreciated by the evaluators. Actually, this is an example of my early career. Actually, until now, I'm tenure track associate professor at Shanghai Autonomous University. But when I applied to the ERC grant, I was based as an associate professor at Renmin University in China. So since I arrived in 2011 to China, I built up over time this growing career, which actually I didn't have any blank year in my, so that is also something very important. Your international profile, these are the monographs and books I published before applying to the project, some SSCI articles, and the most important thing, and another important detail, is that you have to spend 50% of your time in Europe, of your host institution. You must carefully choose your host institution and spend there 50% of the time that you will dedicate to the project. And you need to justify this in a very detailed plan scheme that you will present in your project. This, I mean, I'm based in China, my work is in China, but the host institution, again, it is the place you choose. You can choose any place in Europe, but it's the place you choose to host your project. That doesn't mean that you are working in, let's say, in 2 places. It means that you are choosing a host place for the management of your project. The time you will dedicate to it, it is up to you, but you need to justify this in your project. Preparing your project in advance, this is very important. Avoid hasty preparation, innovation, interdisciplinary ideas, and your own ideas. That is very important. Thinking out of the box and prepare a very accurate plan in parallel of the main ideas of the project, which should be groundbreaking nature, address important challenges in your project, novel concept. Again, this is very important, don't be afraid or use new concept. I mean, this ERC, as you can see, you know, some of them has the potential or has been nominated for Nobel Prizes. But as Professor Yu saw, it means that, no, I mean, this doesn't mean that everybody will be a Nobel Prize, but you need to be ambitious in your project. And why not think about that you could be potentially a Nobel Prize? It doesn't mean that in a very arrogant way that you will be a Nobel Prize. It means that you need to let's say, sky is the limit, and you need to be really ambitious, modest, but ambitious in your field, addressing new and challenging concepts and ideas, and make it also feasible according to the time scale and methodology that you will use. Very quickly, this is the outlook of the proposal when you are submitting it, the A1 and B1 part. And here you have in this slide the evaluation process that I explained before, in which excellence is the criterion. So think out of the box. Again, I will never be tired of repeating this. Think out of the box and make the impossible, make it possible. This is when I went myself to the interview in Brussels. And this is actually how you can see the success rate is 10%. So it means that this is a very big deal. And well, I will slightly, I think I have maybe 3-4 more minutes, Anna?
If we can make it 2, that would be great.
Okay, I will make 2 minutes very quickly about to see concretely my proposal, my project when I apply. My project was the acronym is GESEN, Global Encounters between China and Europe, is trade networks between China and Europe, precisely with a concrete case study in which, in a very global framework, because my field is global history, is with a concrete case study, how you present your work, which basically in a very general framework, my work is about the refreshing, developing the idea of the Great Divergence, which means the economic development in a very global scale from Qing Dynasty until today, between China and Europe, precisely between South China and Mediterranean Europe from Qing Dynasty, and how the economic development and international relation in a very general way between China and Europe was working. And this leads me to the idea about interdisciplinary, which interdisciplinary element I use in my project, which is basically use digital science, digital tools and humanities. Digital humanities would mean we are dealing a new database apply for the cross-referencing different sources in Chinese, as you can see here, sources in European languages and Chinese. And this, you made this very general database according, you had to explain the method and how this method is feasible according to your research question. So this is very important. So a database like here I'm presenting, or any method you are using, it is not the goal itself. Again, it's a mean to achieve your goal, which means that always you have to bear in mind your question and research hypothesis. This is very important. So basically, this is, you need to explain the novelty and impact of your project and how your project apply to understand current world issues, to find potential solution, and even to predict problems within a very interdisciplinary scope. So let me again, I will present you in the last minute, you know, the potential issues in my project, which is the main result, publishing 4 SSCI papers at the moment, using this database methodology, arranging special issues in Cambridge University Journal to present the current results. And actually, I'm happy to share with you this new monograph I just published. Actually, it came out last week, which, as you can see, there are many interdisciplinary ideas, because I deal with global history, the so-called Chinese characteristics, to understand international relations and current politics, but how this applies to Qing China 200 years ago, to analyze and understand the narratives of the economic development and political institutions, international relations between China and Europe. So basically, I think I should stop here. To know more about my project, again, you are very welcome to visit the website of my GESEN project, and very importantly, develop a network. Also make a very website very appealing and very cool, and that also applies for your application. Make your own academic website feasible, because you need to make visible your work and your results. So I think that I should stop here, otherwise I will take all time. Thank you for the patience, and I'm very willing to answer your questions.